Wow, this game looks very unbalanced. Justice League Task Force was released in 1995 for both the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis, which is kind of hard to believe considering this game doesn't look all that impressive for 1995 standards. Both ports are vastly different since they were developed by different companies. Even though I could say plenty about my experience growing up with the SNES port, we will only be covering the Sega Genesis port, which in my opinion is much worse in terms of the gameplay. If you couldn't tell, Justice League Task Force is a fighting game. The graphics are decent, the sound effects are fine, the music is... And of course, the gameplay is severely unbalanced due to oversights, glitches, and some mind-boggling mechanics that I refuse to believe was intentional. As usual, we'll start with the controls before I explain the gameplay. If you're using a 6-button controller, X, Y, and Z are your punch buttons, while A, B, and C are your kick buttons. If you're on a 3-button controller, start with switch your buttons from kick to punch and vice versa. This means you can't pause the game during gameplay, so hopefully you're using a 6-button controller. As for the rules, fights are best of 3 and you'll win a round by depleting the opponent's health to 0, or by having more health than them when time runs out. Draws will not give a round to anyone, which means this can happen endlessly if both players don't press anything. Now for the gameplay. The buttons will allow you to perform weak attacks, medium attacks, and strong attacks. Weak attacks are fast and strong attacks are slower. By dealing enough damage in a short amount of time, the opponent will become dizzy. If you press a punch button while close to a dazed opponent, you will perform a unique attack that deals a decent amount of damage. Strong attacks and certain special moves will be your main way of stunning the opponent. You can also throw the opponent by holding forward and pressing any medium or heavy attack while close. Throws are surprisingly both broken and useless at the same time. The broken part is that you can cancel the animation by performing a special move. Depending on the character, this can leave the opponent frozen indefinitely, leading to a timer scam if you have more health. What makes throws useless is that you cannot draw a crouching opponent. This is a very big deal due to how defense works, but I'll get into that in a bit. Of course you do have your special moves. Some will require your standard motions along with a button, and some are charge moves that will require you to hold a direction for a brief moment first. As someone who's played many fighting games, performing some of these moves feel very off. I swear there are times where I don't get the moves to come out at all despite doing the motion correctly. I can't quite explain it in words, but those who've tried to perform these moves might be able to relate. Anyways, these moves are very important, not only because some of them are incredibly overpowered, but also due to the lack of a combo system. Yeah, there are no combos in this game. The reason is because when you hit the opponent, they are considered invincible while in hit stun. As such, your attacks will go right through them during the animation and they can act right upon recovering. The only combos in this game involve looping the same unblockable attacks over and over again. Due to how easy it is to lose within seconds, proper defense is near mandatory. But in a strange twist that I've never seen coming, defense can be considered more of a problem than offense. The biggest reason is due to overheads not existing. If you crouch block, you will be able to block every single attack in the game that isn't unblockable. This is on top of the fact that crouching makes you immune to throws. But of course, that wasn't enough. Not only is crouch blocking very effective for defense, but it's also great for offense. When you block an attack, you can retaliate immediately with your own since block stun does not exist. All of these factors combined mean you could technically crouch block for the rest of the round after getting a huge life lead. Now surely there's some kind of weakness for crouch blocking. Well, there are a few things. First off, blocking actually has a few startup frames. Because of this, certain special moves can become unblockable if done at point blank. And certain projectiles can become unblockable if you don't hold back immediately during the startup animation. Blocking also doesn't completely negate the damage of attacks. So if an opponent is crouch blocking, you could throw projectiles at them, though there's nothing stopping them from doing the same. In short, the basic game plan involves spamming the same few moves over and over, and making use of crouch blocking to avoid nearly every attack in the game. This will be incredibly effective against the CPU and even just as effective against a human opponent. It'll be even better if you can make use of the glitches and oversights. You can call this cheap if you want, but you might reconsider upon getting into the main mode. Justice League Task Force features 6 heroes and 3 villains to play as. In the hero mode, you can only select one of 6 heroes. This will have you fight the entire roster with some story text in between fights. Unfortunately, the text is the same no matter who you pick, so there isn't much of a reason to finish the game more than once. Worse yet, the CPU is ruthless. performing special moves instantly, input reading, and even having faster startup time on their special moves, the handicap is very blatant, but somehow it gets worse. As the game goes on, both your offense and defense will decrease with each fight you win. This is more drastic on the higher difficulty settings. By the final fight, you'll be dealing jack off of damage, though I am very glad to say that you can experience the entire game on easy mode, as there is no bonus or reward for finishing the game on hard mode. In any case, coming up is my long play on hard mode. I'll briefly go over the characters throughout the long play, but you can also check the guide in the description for a move list and more. With all of that said, let's get into it.
You will never defeat me. I control the technology. I have the power to control your mind.
Alright, and this is Justice League Task Force for the Sega Genesis. Did play this through my Mega SG. I'm only mentioning this because I know the last long play I did, which was Cheetah, I actually played that through emulator. But I decided to boot up the Mega SG again, and I can't say I'm surprised, but obviously I did some practice beforehand, and when I just started recording, this only took me one attempt because I did pick Superman for this playthrough, and he is very, very broken. So I can't wait for you to see that stuff. There's some really weird nonsense that happened in this run, even though I did get through it without using a continue. But some really funny stuff happened here. So first things first, I do go to the options. Now, look, if you're smart, just leave the game on easy, alright? I'm stupid for playing this on hard mode. I know you're not stupid. No, you're smart, so please play it on easy. Don't do this. Obviously, I played it on hard here, but just save yourself the trouble and do not play this on hard mode. It is not worth it. It's just a damage buff and that's it. The CPU still feels the same on easy mode in a sense, so just don't waste your time. Anyways, here are all of the characters. Again, as we go through the long play, I will go over each character along the way. And for this playthrough, I did indeed pick Superman, who is pretty much the best character in the game in my opinion. Anyways, time for some story. Darkseid declares war on Earth. No nation safe. Man, I didn't get to read the rest of that. He doesn't really say we base Darkseid's first target. Carr goes out to ward heroes for help. Now for some text. Again, it's the same no matter who you pick. Darkseid's opening attack on Earth took the whole world by surprise, but that alien fiend's plans won't go unopposed. I have to act fast to prevent Earth from being turned into a planet of slaves. I'm going to need the help of the Justice League. And begins the game's main plot, which is get the help of the Justice League and you're immediately fighting one, which is Aquaman. And funny that we are it is Aquaman first because he's actually okay, so did you see that if you watch closely at the projectile startup, I don't know if he'll do it again. Yeah, he did it right there. So the CPU, the startup time on their projectile is like instant. It's like frame 3. Like, look at, yo, you can't do that as a player. That's not possible. Like, it actually isn't possible. It's just a buff that they have. Like, it. So, okay, holy crap. There's already a lot I gotta talk about. Let me try to stay on topic. So, the strategy I'm using, and this is a strategy you can do too, even if you're not good at doing special moves, the best strategy is to stay crouching, crouch blocking, and whenever the CPU hits you, just immediately retaliate with a strong punch or a strong kick. And after about 2 to 3 hits, they should be dizzy if you did them fast enough. And in this round, I decided to resort to the Superman's infinite loops. Anyways, I should talk about the characters, I guess. Aquaman, he is technically the worst character in the game. He doesn't really, he's just very honest. Like, when you actually pick him, obviously he looks really broken here because of his, like, the CPU cheating with the projectile startup, but he doesn't have any, like, gimmicks or ridiculous glitches. He's just a very honest character. I'll talk about that in a bit. This is insanity. Why would a fellow Justice League member attack me for no reason? I need to talk with another member of the Justice League and find out if they know what is going on. The text is so slow in this. So yeah, Aquaman's just really honest. Like, he has a decent projectile, and he can also spin his trident, which can beat out certain moves. But that's about it. His other moves aren't really that great, especially in a game like this where crouch blocking is really good. Also, right here, you can see that that's the animation you get if you press punch while the opponent is dizzy up close. It is unique for each character. I don't know if I'll show that, but you're not missing much. Is this a unique? For some characters, it's a unique animation. For others, they just reuse something else. Depends. But yeah, that is a cool feature, I guess, because again, combos don't exist, so I guess you might as well like have a optimal quote-unquote dizzy punish. Anyways, this is a Green Arrow. He's actually very useful. He's very useful, I should say. He's very strong in a sense. He's the game's main zoner, if you couldn't tell. He has a very interesting loop. These matches are going by so fast. I don't know if I'm going to be able to explain to everybody. I'm going to get back to that, though. 2 Justice League members attacking me without cause. 3 Justice... What's happening? What's happened to them? They're supposed to be heroes like me. There must be a member of the Justice League somewhere that can explain what's going on. So yeah, Green Arrow's really good. He's the game's main zoner, and he has a infinite loop where he can freeze you with the arrow. He has a freeze arrow that freezes you. Then he shoots a regular arrow which keeps you frozen for some reason. Like, it doesn't immediately get rid of the frozen animation. And then by shooting out another freeze arrow and having it make contact with the opponent right when they get out of the freeze animation, it actually becomes an infinite loop because they're not able to block immediately. Now, the timing for that infinite loop is very, very strict, but it is possible. Like, even if the opponent holds down to crouch block, they can't enter crouch fast enough unless you, like, slightly mistime it. So, Green Arrow is definitely a strong character as well. Assuming he's able to keep the opponent out, of course. The Flash, he is, I mean, he's not as honest as he's not as bad as Aquaman, but he's not... Wow, that looked correct. I forgot that happened. With the Flash, he has a good projectile. What else does he have? He has a invincible dash that goes full screen, which is pretty good. And he also has that lariat you saw earlier where he was spinning in place and like moving around. During that lariat, you can actually move left and right. And if you do it point blank, because it has near instant startup, it can actually become unblockable since, as I mentioned in the intro, blocking has startup frames. So Flash is okay. He's not overpowered, but I would consider him the weakest, in my opinion. That wasn't a real Justice League member any more than the others were. Something has happened to the real heroes. I can only hope the same thing hasn't happened to the rest of the Justice League. Plot twist, of course. I mean, it's pretty obvious what the story is. 4 Justice League members. Nah. My gosh. 5. Anyways, here's Batman. So Batman's actually one of the more interesting characters, all because of one move, really. But so the CPU is still cheating as usual with their instant startup on their projectiles. They might have faster startup on their other moves too. I don't know. But the projectile startup is definitely the most noticeable. And yeah, I know I haven't talked about Superman yet, but I will talk about him when that fight comes up because there's a mirror match in the story mode. But yeah, Batman, really, he only has one move that's interesting, which is a sliding kick, his quarter circle forward with kick. Not only is it unblockable if done up close, since blocking has startup, but if you're player 1 Batman, if the opponent jumps over you during the animation, he will actually autocorrect and like immediately turn around to face their direction. But only player 1 Batman has this. If you do it as player 2, he would just go straight or like stop in place. But player 1 Batman just, oh man. Anyways, plot. Another fake hero, whatever is going on, I'm betting that Darkseid's behind it. Anything else would be too much of a coincidence. Bat can't give up hope now. But yeah, only player 1 Batman, when he does the sliding kick, if the opponent tries to jump over it, he'll just constantly face the direction to make sure it hits. It's really funny when you see it. Anyways, Wonder Woman, she's actually pretty solid. I should mention that Batman's okay, I guess. He doesn't have any, like, he can't really do the grab glitch. Actually, Green Arrow can do the grab glitch if he does grab into the freeze arrow, but the timing is a little strict. And of course, I don't think Aquaman can do it at all. Like, if I'm not mistaken, since he would just hit them out of it if he tries to perform his special moves. But yeah, Batman's okay. He can't do the grab glitch. Wonder Woman, again, pretty solid character. Her sliding kick is similar, where up close it is unblockable, but it doesn't have that weird like player one gimmick that Batman has, where it, like auto tracks. But wow, that was weird. Oh yeah, I forgot to test that. I gotta remind myself to test that after, because I froze her while she was dizzy, and it landed as a hit first before freezing her. So I gotta see what's going on with that stuff. But yeah, she has a sliding kick. It can become unblockable up close. She can reflect projectiles, which is really good. Her projectile can become, I'm pretty sure I showed on the intro, it can become unblockable. And it's going by fast. It appears as if Earth's salvation is in my hands. I'm on my own against Darkseid, and I know just where to look from. But yeah, she can reflect projectiles, which is good because the reflected projectile, I'm talking so fast, good grief, can become unblockable unless she's like in an attack animation. And actually I have plenty of time to now remember, I have plenty of time to talk in this match in particular, and you'll see why in a bit. So yeah, Wonder Woman, that is exactly why. So anyways, while this is happening, let me talk about Wonder Woman. So Wonder Woman, she has okay, she can reflect projectiles. Her own projectile, it can become unblockable if the opponent's not holding back right away, like if it's already on screen. And she could also do grab into hover, which would just freeze the opponent indefinitely. So pretty solid character overall. And what you see going on here is I did the flying forward thrust punch, which is charge back and then forward punch, which is what I used to get the loop ready, the loop started. And because Despero hit me, like, I think he might have blocked it and then attacked immediately, but because he hit me mid-animation, aka this move that had super armor, it just left me in this frozen state, and I can't press. I was actually trying to press whatever I could, nothing was working. Thankfully, the game doesn't hang. I'm surprised they got that right. Like, the game actually doesn't hang. You can actually just, whatchamacallit, like, I just put the controller down because I was pressing A, B, C, X, Y, Z, nothing was happening. And I didn't want to quit by accident by pressing start and pressing the button, so. But, okay. I should have been talking about Despero, I guess. He's actually pretty simple to explain. You're nothing but Darkseid's pawn, Despero. I want the truth. Where is Darkseid? And what has he done with the Justice League? This is like a job for Superman. I don't know why I'm thinking of Superman 64 all of a sudden. I was left here to tend his spaceship while he prepares for an attack on Earth. Only one other knows of Darkseid's plans, which is, of course, Cheetah. So Despero's pretty simple. He has you saw him do the move earlier. It's like a shove. He goes, ugh. And it's an unblockable attack that knocks down. It just knocks down. It's like you can't block it. It also hits airborne opponents. So theoretically, if you're facing a human opponent, you can just keep using thrust shove as they're getting up from wake up, and there's nothing they can do about it. I say theoretically, since technically invincible moves exist, so maybe there's a way to escape it. But once you get started, like, especially if he has you in the corner, it's just really oppressive. Like, there's not a whole lot you can do at that point. And it's not even a full circle motion like a command grab. It's just quarter circle back with punch. So that move is ridiculous. Well, speaking of which, oh man, I actually did record some footage with my friend, and we was playing this game, so might make a Sega Genesis Madness video for this game so that you can see some of that broken stuff. So I don't know if I'll show all of it. I don't think I'm going to show all of it in the intro, so. But yeah, just be on the lookout for that, I guess. Cheetah, she doesn't really have a whole lot. She just has a DP that can just melt your health bar in one hit if you're airborne. You're not who I want, Cheetah. Darkseid is the real threat. Tell me where he is. I didn't even get to mention the music. The music is something. I have nothing to fear from even you. Go to Darkseid and engage him in battle, but you will not survive. She is really cool. She's one of my favorites. But yeah, her DP is just ridiculous. I did not think that you would be able to defeat my lackeys or the robots, with which I replaced your fellow Justice League members. But I have one more adversary awaiting you. one more powerful than you could even imagine. So Cheetah, yeah, Cheetah has the DP, it one-shots. Player 2 Cheetah can actually do grab into DP and it's just a touch of death. But because the DP motion in this game is like jank, it's really jank. It's like forward, down, down, forward with punch. The timing is the input is strict and the timing is strict. Like you have to do that instantly. So like I think actually that was one of my previous videos. So like if you've seen it, then like you know how strict it is. Anyway, Superman. I don't need to say much about this guy. You've seen him for like the whole entire long play. He can do that flying forward thrust punch where he flies across the screen that has super armor. And since it's a hard knockdown on hit, he can do the earthquake slam. Also, he has a freeze glitch. I froze him, then I grabbed him, canceled that with flight. And from here I can do whatever I want. So I decided to do the infinite loop because I didn't want to wait for the timer, so I just figured this gets over with. So yeah, that's the earthquake slam. It's an unblockable move that can only be avoided by jumping, but since it hits OTG, you can just loop it forever. There's no quick get up or anything in this game, so that is a roll loop. And you can also do that funny glitch where it says you win twice. You impress me, hero, but my plan shall not be thwarted. Droided, I should say. Once I have conquered Earth, the planet and its people shall serve as the base for the conquest of the universe. I will destroy you with my own hands. Darkseid is one of the worst characters in the game, unfortunately. I mean, he has two interesting gimmicks. He can perform the freeze glitch by grabbing and then performing teleport, which is forward punch, which is really easy to do, even if you don't play fighting games often. And he can also, he has a projectile that's half circle back with punch. If it hits, it'll make this obnoxious noise that will actually reverse your controls, like up, down, left, and right. Like all directions are reversed, so you have to press down to jump. And he can also refresh the duration by landing it again. So if you get hit by it, it can get really, really rough to like defend and attack since like all your directions are screwed up. Whoa, his sprite looked weird for a second. What was that? I didn't notice. I did not notice that when I played this. What was that? Like it looked like a laser was inside his sprite. I don't know. But yeah, I just explained Darkseid. He only has those two gimmicks and that's about it. He's not really like. The only reason why he's technically hard is because of the huge damage and like defense nerf you have by this point of the game. Like this loop right here, I would have been won if I was facing a human opponent. But because the CPU is cheating, and because I'm playing on hard mode, it's taking way, way longer to do. Which means more opportunities to drop the loop if you aren't careful. But yeah, that is Justice League Task Force for the Sega Genesis. It's over, Darkseid. Earth is safe, and you'll pay for that Okay, I better make sure to add that type of to the guide. Oh yeah, this text is really slow. Whether together or alone, nothing can defeat the Justice League. Wait, hold on. Task Force. But yeah, that's the end of Justice League Task Force. This game is not very. It's fun for a laugh or two if you got a friend to play with, because of how absurdly broken it is. But whether you like this game or you hate this game, no one can deny how absolutely glitchy, buggy, just broken it is. It is broken. Like, if you're into that, then you can get some enjoyment out of this. I'm not really into that. Like, I don't know. It depends. I can't believe it. How many times have I mentioned this game by now? I mean, as someone who's played some broken games like Beast Wrestler, I guess. Like, I don't know. I just don't find the glitches in this game all that interesting to like mess around with. It's really silly. I don't know. That's just me though. Do I think this game's bad? Yeah, kinda. I mean, like, if you like it, fine. But I'd much rather play the Super Nintendo version. That game has its own issues or whatever. But at least it wasn't like. At least, you know what? I'll say this. At least the meta to that version wasn't glitches. Like, you turn on the game, you make use of, there are some broken mechanics, there are some broken moves in that port, but at least it wasn't like, okay, I'm gonna freeze this opponent indefinitely, or I'm going to use the same move over and over and over, and it's guaranteed a hit. Like, it's not that degenerate. I think that's the best way I can explain it. But yeah, also, I'm gonna be real, not a huge fan of the music in this game. It's like, it's so close to being horrible and so close to being good at the same time. It's in a like completely weird realm. Like I've never heard granted I haven't played it's not like I played every single Sega Genesis game, but I've never really heard Sega Genesis music of this kind of specific quality. It definitely has a uniqueness to it. I don't know what else to say about this game. Oh yeah, you know what? That's what I do need to mention. Coming up is one more match because I decided to show what the player versus CPU look like, and that's going to be interesting because I get to perform one glitch that you might, if you've seen one of my other videos, then you might know what I'm going for here. So hopefully you stick around for that. It won't be that long. So yeah, let's get into that match. Okay, so now for the player versus CPU. I never got to mention this earlier, but the turbo settings, there are some weird stuff that can happen with it where, like, if you put it on the fastest setting, not all animations will be fast. Like, I think the knockdown animation still feels like normal speed. But yeah, I decided to just leave it on normal. And to end this long play off, I decided to face a CPU as Cheetah. Prepare to watch this epic conclusion to Justice League Task Force on the Sega Genesis. Here it comes. It's coming. And that is Justice League Task Force for the Sega Genesis. I got nothing to say about this. I hope you enjoyed watching this long play. And with that said, I'll see you later.